Hello again, this is Dr. Mafi. Welcome to my channel, Dr. English. And today's lesson is very important I'd like to share with you, and that is called causative verbs. You might have heard of it, or you might have seen the examples that I gave you today before, right? You might have seen them before, but you don't know that they come under this category that we call in grammar or in the structures, causative verbs. What are causative verbs? We have different kinds of verbs, and I've already talked about different classifications or typology of verbs, right? But today, we can focus on causative verbs. What do I mean by causative verbs? Well, these are the set of verbs that we use in order to cause somebody else to do something or arrange for an action to be done, but not by us, by somebody else. Right? When you go to the barbers, normally you don't cut your hair. Or for women, they don't do their hair. It's pretty difficult to do it, right? So they normally ask somebody else to do it for them. They cut their hair, they do their hair, they dye their hair, right? But they ask somebody like, for example, a hairdresser or a barber to do it for them, right? For example, if your car has an accident, if you have an accident with your car, you crash into another car, then there's a dent on your car or there's a scratch on your car, you go to a painter to do it for you. You are no painter, right? So it's wrong to say that, especially in English, that I painted my car. No, you didn't do it. But you asked somebody else, or you told somebody else to do it for you. You paid for it. Yes, it's correct. You paid for it, or you hired somebody like a painter to paint your car for you or to fix your car for you. Okay? So this is how the causative verbs, in fact, or this is where the causative verbs come to help us, all right? So we use these structures in order to ask somebody else or arrange for that project or activity to be done or to happen, okay? One of them is make. Make. Well, you might see some synonyms for make, like force, like coerce, all right? But actually, they're not using this sense in the way that we use make. So you have to be very careful how we use make. Like, she made him cry. Usually, the structure goes like this. We use the make form in any tense, in any form, whether it is present, progressive, or past tense, present, future, whatever, it doesn't matter. So make, made, object, then infinitive without to. Infinitive is the base form of the verb. The base form of the verb. Like when we say, for example, to go, to buy, to take, to wash, to drive, to walk, all of them are infinitives. But if you delete to from it or take it away from it, that would be the base form. You're left with the base form of the infinitive. We either call it the base form of it or infinitive without to. So we always use infinitive without to after the object preceded by make. All right? So she made him cry, not to cry. To cry is wrong. But if you use a synonym for make, like she forced him to cry, then you use infinitive with to, not without to. Likewise, let. We use let, like let me go, let me talk. You don't let me talk, you always talk, right? All the time, and you don't permit me to talk. So if I use permit me, then I have to use infinitive with to talk. But let me talk, not to talk. Let me go, not to go. Okay? That's another scenario again. With help, you can either use infinitive with to or without to. That's why I put to in a parentheses. Like, he helped me fix my car. It was a mechanic. My neighbor, for example, helped me fix my car. Not, well, or he helped me to fix my car. Both of them are correct. Well, with the last set of two examples, have and get, all right? Any forms, have, has, had, get, got, will get, whatever, or getting. We have two scenarios, two cases. Be careful. Well, sometimes we use have or get with human object or indirect object, like him or her or them had him go. Just like make and let, we use infinitive without to, the base form of the verb. infinitive without to. Like the secretary had him go into the doctor's office. Usually the doctors have secretaries, and the patients wait in the waiting room for their turn to come up, or they are the next to go in, right? So the secretary had him arranged for him to go into the arranged for him to go into. I said arranged for him to go. So I use not only for, but also I use infinitive with to. But here, had him go, infinitive without to, into the doctor's office. Okay? Well, but the second scenario, the second class or group of examples for have or has is I'll have my house, direct object, not human object, direct object. I'll have my house painted, PP form of the verb. PP form, the third form of the verb, right? Like paint, painted, painted, the third form. That would be PP, past participle form. Past participle form. So have plus direct object plus PP. I'll have my house painted next month. With the example first I gave for causative verbs, if you crash into another car, right, while you are driving your car, if there's a dent in your car, you have to, or something happened to the engine of the car, you have to, what? Have the mechanic, for example, fix your car or get your car fixed, ED, the PP form. This is the example for that scenario I gave at the beginning of this video, all right? Just to introduce causative verbs. Well, for get, again, we have two scenarios, just like have. Look, the first one is just like the previous example, like she got her hair done, PP form. Get got, direct object, her hair, she got her hair, done, PP form, do, did, done, right? Just like have my house painted, just like that. So it's kind of synonymous. You can use either have or get in that sense. But the last example that I gave is, well, for get, is that politicians always get people to vote for them one way or another, or any way possible. They persuade people. If I use persuade instead of get, that would be the same thing. Like get people, human, or indirect object, to fix. Not like have him go infinitive without to. This is infinitive with to. You see? So there are these scenarios that we use for causative verbs, and you have to be very careful when it comes to these set of verbs under causative verbs. But if you use, please mind you, if you use synonyms for causative verbs, you have to be careful. All right? For example, normally verbs would be like this. I want, like I want. Most of the verbs follow want in that structure. They follow the pattern of want. Like I want you to go home. I want you, for example, to listen carefully. I want you to listen. Want, object, infinitive with to. So most of the verbs follow this pattern, except the causative verbs that they follow their own pattern. You have to be extra careful. Thank you for watching again. Don't forget to like and subscribe.